Musk recently, well, he's always kind of been in the political game, but now he's actually showing up at these Trump rallies. He's very good. He's kind of, and I'm sure he has many reasons why he wants to be part of the Trump team. But one that he's vocal about, First Amendment speech. He's very adamant on that. That's one of the main reasons why he bought Twitter, because he wanted to keep it free. But I just want to show kind of an example.
Free speech is meaningless unless you allow people you don't like to say things you don't like.
We must protect free speech. Well, I think it's very important for there to be an inclusive arena for free speach.
And if at the point at which you lose free speech, it doesn't come back.
I want to show you proof that he's very adamant on free speech. He's he's a First Amendment fanatic. So just people don't know, maybe a little quick breakdown of what the U.S. mostly Constitution speech. So it's the freedom of religion, right? To believe in whatever you want. Freedom of speech. Understand that, right? Just, yes, you can say whatever you want, but there could be consequences. And it's not criminal. There's consequences, but by law, you can't get sentenced to jail for saying something. Unless it's a threat. Unless it's like you're a threat to someone's. Freedom of the press. That's a big thing of a democratic society, is the freedom of the press.
And what do they mean exactly by freedom of the
press? Allowed to say anything they want, unless it's a lie, and you can get.
Okay.
But other countries, the press can't really say anything bad about the government or bad about certain whatever the government decides talking about. You can't say whatever you want. Freedom of the speech. You're even allowed to. You get in the hands of like high class, confident, top secret information. You're allowed releasing that. Get it? And go. It's not against the law to release. The person who spread it, he's the one who gets in trouble because he fucked up. If the press gets evidence of something, they can't go to jail. They're allowed to print it or talk about it. Freedom of assembly is protesting. Allowed to protest, gather people in a certain area peacefully. Can't start peacefully. The cops can't do anything. And right to petition is kind of free speech, except more specific to you're allowed questioning, allowed asking, why are we going to war? Is it the right thing? You're allowed pushing back the government. Other places you can't mouth at the government. Here you're allowed. So I find this crazy because me personally, in my point of view, what I see, I find more right-wingers or Republican politicians are more infringing on first speech than I find liberals. I'll say some examples.
Everybody, thanks for sticking around. If you're loving this content, hit the like button. Hello, right here. Subscribe and join our awesome community. Ring that notification bell so you never miss a beat. Together, we're building something special. Very, very special. Let's grow the channel and have some fun along the way, baby. Want more content? Check out these other fantastic channels. You got Checkin Habs, one-stop shop for all those things that Habs and sports we talking about. Hello. Checking accounts. Dive into the world of finance and economics. Big money. Big. Find out the links below in the description.
First, I'll start with examples from Trump. He said it before, and he never did it, but he might introduce it. He actually campaigns on it, that he's going to introduce a 1-year prison minimum American flag. Burning the American flag is actually a big thing of like unconstitutional. We're even allowed to do that. We'll talk about it. That's how free we are. Yeah, it's not illegal. Yeah. He wants to bring in a 1-year minimum sentence if you burn your flag. Is that a First Amendment?
Well, that's a waste of a president's time.
Is that encroaching on your First Amendment? Yes. Truth Social. Why do you know what Truth Social is?
Yeah, it's his version.
It's his version of Twitter. And why do you build it? Well, that's how they marketed it. Is you can say whatever you want. There's no censorship. No one's gonna ban your account. Say whatever you want. Unlike Twitter, at the time didn't own it, right? So that was a big thing. What does he do? He bans. Well, the platform bans journalists. They ban people that talk bad about Trump. They ban stuff about like gay or LGBTQ, like nice stuff about it or promoting it. Not promoting, but anyways, topics about that. Anything they don't like, they ban it. There's another hypocrisy. First Amendment. He countless times he talks about changing the libel laws. So libel laws is you're suing someone for defamation, for saying something bad about you. He wants to loosen the rules that it's easier to sue people. An infringement on free speech? Yes or no?
Say that again. I didn't.
He wants to make the laws easier to sue people saying something bad about you.
That's an infringement.
Yeah, that's a huge.
Because it's really hard to prove like defamation, right? He wants to make it easy.
Why would you make? Yeah.
So the White House, obviously the president is too busy every day to answer press, so they have a press secretary, right? Someone daily person, they have a press conference, and that, you guys ever see that room?
Before you get, he wants to loosen the law on that. He's gonna get sued more than everyone else because he creates the worst freaking lies about everybody.
But Trump is the king of suing people for talking about him. The king of that.
He's Tony's saying he's gonna get sued back like crazy.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah,
right.
It might. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's a very good point.
Yes, but at the end of the day, who has the best lawyers?
Who has the lawyer that could prolong this trial for years?
Hey, go on.
His whole career is based on making deals in construction, and you know, it was just.
You're a contractor dealing with Trump. Forget it. You're not getting paid.
You were done.
No.
No.
You know what? You know when those rallies are not getting paid? Like people that host his rallies and stuff like that, cities and stuff like that.
Get out.
They're all complaining. They're bad. That's why he doesn't do many rallies anymore, because he owes money to that city, and the city's like, if you don't pay up, you're not allowed to be here. So I was saying about the press secretary. There's like a room, like you guys ever seen? Basically a room of journalists. So a lot of the major news outlets say that
they're specifically chosen. They're handpicked to be in there.
Well, some of them are news networks, TV networks, newspapers, and some people online too. They get a pass, right? Someone from their news outlet gets a pass, and they mix it up once in a while.
White House correspondents.
Right. Exactly, House correspondents. Trump, during his presidency, would ban people for like a week or two from outlets that he just like said about, like CNN or something. Did a bad piece or they made him look bad. He used to ban them. So right there, is that an infringement of freedom of the press?
Yeah.
Yes. Treatment of protesters. How was he with the BLM? He was anti-BLM, the Black Lives Matter protest. He threatened to withhold funding from cities that did not crack down on the BLM protest. Is that anti-freedom of assembly?
Yes.
The kneeling of football players, the national anthem, and a big deal out of that. He thought it was, you can say it's un-American and unpatriotic, but to call them, for them to get fired, they should be fired. They should be banned from football for doing that. For what? Protesting?
I think it's the way the Americans treat the national anthem, and I think it's a bit okay.
Well, they're patriotic.
There has to be respect. Come on, like. Take it easy, man.
But the thing is, the whole thing about it, they weren't disrespecting the national anthem. They were protesting police violence.
Yes.
And they were saying, no, they're protesting America. They're protesting police violence. That's why that's propaganda. I don't know if you remember, there was a protest in front of the White House. There was a few people, peaceful protest. And then there's a whole story. People came out and they said people that were there. Trump's asking, he was like just annoyed that we're there outside of the White House. And he's like, well, can't we just shoot him in the leg, and then they all disperse? He was telling the chief of staff, and they're like, no, we can't do that. And then he was annoyed with them. You know what he does? You know, when you're a president and you want to go somewhere, like they pretty much like rid like the whole 3 blocks, right?
Yeah.
Security-wise, Secret Service, like they clear the way, right?
So
he decides to walk outside, down 2 blocks to like some sort of church, to a photo op with a Bible. That's when he was holding the Bible upside down. I don't know if you guys remember that. Anyways, he did that because that forced them to clear the protesters out in the front. That infringement of freedom of assembly? Yes.
Rick.
Anyway, those are some examples.
That's kind of.
Now I'm going to talk about Republicans in general. Now it's a huge thing in the last 3-4 years. Banning books in schools, school libraries, and public libraries. Any book that has anything, they call it pornography, but like anything sexual in it, anything LGBTQ with it, anything that's makes white people look bad in the sense of like slavery. Like if a book talks about slavery and how they suffered, they're able to ban those books.
Well, that's just history. Be allowed to ban.
They want to change history to people. the black people are actually, they want to teach this in classes to kids. The black people actually were happy. They came from a poor country. They came here. They were given clothes. They were giving a place to stay. They were given food, and they were happy to work in the fields. That's what they want to teach. They don't want to make the white people, the white person look bad.
So they're trying to erase slavery.
And they're putting this in law. It's not that they're trying to do that. It's actually laws to allow schools to do that. They want to go raise penalties on riots.
But the black people, they come here to want to work, but they end up
No,
getting,
this is the
I know
slaves.
that, but then they're becoming slaves because they were treated badly. They were treated.
Oh, they came
inhumanely.
as
slaves if
They came as slaves.
They rounded them up in Africa and they brought them here as slaves.
Yeah,
They
but
didn't.
they came
You
here
thought
and
these
then-
guys like came and like, oh, there's
They had first-class
there's
tickets on
jobs in
those boats.
America. No, they
And
were
then they
ra-
became slaves.
they were slaves
they
before
were
they came
slaves.
to America.
They
Okay,
were
they were
bought
slaves,
on.
okay,
They were
okay,
bought as
okay.
slaves. They were
They were
tossed on
captured,
boats.
sold, and brought over.
Okay.
They want to increase penalties. They want to limit where you can do protest. You can't do it in the town square. You can't. They're trying to make up all these rules. Republicans do it. All these rules that you can't protest here, you can't protest. So
And
it's harder to
Democrats don't do
protest.
this, right?
What? There's no policy, or I haven't seen any proof of any policy the Democrat trying to infringe free. They get confused. Twitter banning you. That's the left trying to control it. No, that's just a private company. Doesn't want bad stuff on their platform because they have advertising. It's a business. It's a business. Exactly. But they confuse that as the government. Another thing is what I said. They want to change things, history in class and stuff like that. They want. Also, one other thing was like, a tenure professor at a university at a certain level, a certain point, he gets tenure. And basically he's untouchable. He can teach whatever he wants. I don't know if it's like a law, but it's kind of like a contract. Like
You become untouchable.
You can't do like sexual assault or something like that thing, but you can talk about Nazi shit and they can't fire you. They want to take that. They want to make a law that now you can break out of the contract. They want that. They don't want liberal thinking people promoting stuff in universities.
Like what kind?
I don't know, like something very liberal, I don't know. They want to have, they put in law that you're able to, for certain situation, I didn't really see much, but now you can able to break a 10-year contract. Not 10-year, 10-year. So that's kind of like manipulating free speech. So my point of that is, look, Elon Musk is a very influential person. He has the most influential platform in the world.
Thanks.
And Twitter, very influential platform. And I'm worried about his politics or how he views the world as politics. I want to show you another video of something that happened after the debate of Harris and Trump. I don't know if you ever guys heard of the ABC whistleblower. So then what happened was there's a person that worked at ABC that had evidence or came out saying that Kamala Harris got the answers beforehand. And there were the two people saying the questions, or the moderators, were instruction to fact check Trump and not fact check Kamala.
I have heard the reports of the ABC whistleblower. It happened, it's disgraceful, it should be a national scandal. But it's one of those things where I'd like to see a little bit more information come in before I actually develop it.
Event.
What is the ABC whistleblower that Senator J.D. Vance is weighing in on there? Allow me to tell you. 2 days after the ABC News presidential debate, an anonymous X or Twitter account called Black Insurrectionist leveled an outrageous and unsubstantiated claim that seemed insane on its face, that an ABC News whistleblower that somehow this anonymous account knew about was claiming that ABC News gave the Harris campaign sample debate questions in advance and had assured Harris that only Donald Trump, not Harris, would be fact-checked. Crazy. Despite the total lack of any verifiable evidence from this random anonymous Twitter account making this claim, the post racked up millions of views on X. And then it got even worse. Elon Musk spread the claim to his 200 million followers. Donald Trump shared it on his social media, and then in a speech a few days later, he said this.
I hear she got the questions.
It's not a real person. Senator Ted Cruz, who should know better, given the vile internet rumors Trump pushed about him in 2016, Senator Ted Cruz tweeted about this nonsense.
Says this post is no longer exists.
Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene took it a step further, writing, quote, "The ABC whistleblower who claimed Kamala Harris was given debate questions ahead of the debate has died in a car crash, according to news reports," unquote. Nearly 5 million views. She later acknowledged that the story about the mysterious death of the whistleblower was false, but she continued to demand an investigation. Pennsylvania Congressman Dan Muser, a Republican, agreed.
We're going to do what we can to bring ABC in and have them answer some questions.
There is no whistleblower. This is all based on a random anonymous claim on the internet, never backed up by any verifiable evidence. ABC News, of course, has denied it all, saying that they followed their own debate rules, which prohibited the sharing of topics or questions with any candidate.
They don't have it in a clip, but there's Trump and other Republicans saying that ABC license should be revoked. Like he's saying, I'm going to revoke their license because you need a license. So you see how a little tweet from a nobody, once Elon Musk touched it, 200 followers, it exploded. That's powerful.
Huge.
And he's an ally of Trump. And Elon Musk is not shy to retweet misinformation, to retweet crazy, unhinged conspiracies. I don't know if you know.
He's trying to push not having misinformation. He's doing this exact same shit.
Oh, he's definitely pushing. I don't know if he's. I don't think he's knowing that it's lies. I think he actually believes. And my main point, all this, it was to frame one question that when the elections happen, Trump loses, does the same thing. The election was rigged. All these conspiracy theories. Then you have Elon Musk, man, one of the most powerful platforms, reiterating this storyline. Is Elon Musk a threat? That's my democratic threat.
Is it?
Oh, threat, no, a threat to democracy.
I think Trump is. I think he can easily spark.
But Elon Musk has the biggest megaphone for Trump.
Yes.
Went out.
To try and win the election. I don't think he's gonna. If he loses, I think he's gonna accept defeat. I don't think he's like Trump. Musk.
No, I'm talking about Trump. You don't think
Trump won't? Trump is gonna. I think he's gonna escalate a civil war.
You don't think Elon Musk will escalate the rigged election story, all these whatever's? We'll see what happens, but I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of shit that people.
Can't wait to see.
Oh,
Maybe.
fuck. I face a big day, man.
Do you think he's a threat? Like it's a dangerous thing.
Well, with his platform, if he wants to push whatever news or whatever Trump wants to
agenda, basically.
his agenda, exactly. That's the word I was looking at. Agenda. Then yeah, but will he? But let's see what Trump does. Yeah.
What do you think, Pat? That's
it's a possibility.
very dangerous. Like,
I think you're right. No, he does have a lot. I'd be curious to see how it's going to unfold. Although, I don't think the talk is going to come from Elon. I think it's going to be
he's just going to promote. He's just going to promote.
He's going to be that little.
With the Trump campaign,
I have a feeling
you're going to hear noise on the side. It's Elon,
we got defeated. It's over. Is he going to continue? Maybe Trump is going to push it. You think he's going to continue to push that? It's over. It's over.
I think it's going to divide America even more. That happened. Anyways, either way, it's. America's been divided.
I think
seeing it, and not.
I think Elon's got too much vested in everywhere else in order to, once he's defeated, continue pushing this. He lost, move on. He's got other things. It's gonna affect him in other ways.
What do you think, Steve?
I see that.
Trump loses, I think it's gonna get very ugly.
Trump is gonna make it, but I don't think Elon is gonna.
It's the sour kind.
Yeah.
Elon Musk is gonna promote that propaganda.
Probably.